The following images and reflections are part of the message that will be explored in today's presentation. A journey through history, human consciousness, spiritual reflection and the ancient connection between humanity, nature and the light of creation. What you are about to watch is only a small glimpse of the full message contained in this video. Welcome to the Union of Mayombe and Itsbriu Makongo. The Union of Mayombe and Itsbriu Makongo. Preserving the history, the tradition, the knowledge and the legacy of Malongo. A project dedicated to researching, documenting and sharing the teachings preserved through generations. Its purpose is not to create divisions. Its purpose is to study, reflect, preserve and respectfully share the spiritual heritage passed down by our ancestors. Recognizing that the legendary Mayombe and Itsbriu Makongo belong to the same ancestral legacy. A legacy that has crossed generations, oceans, sacrifices and historical transformations. Because true knowledge does not fear investigation, reflection or truth. History must be preserved. Tradition must be respected. And legacy must be passed on to future generations. Welcome to the Union of Mayombe and Itsbriu Makongo. Afro-Cuba-Net.com. The journey of life begins when two beings decide to walk together toward the light. Since the dawn of creation, before religions existed, before nations emerged, before humanity carved its first word into stone, there already existed a universal truth engraved within the very essence of nature. No one was created to walk alone. Life was born to be shared. Destiny was designed to be traveled together. And the evolution of consciousness began at the precise moment when two beings decided to hold hands and walk together toward the light. The image of two hands holding fertile earth, from which a small tree emerges, and a couple walking hand in hand toward the horizon, represents one of the deepest symbols humanity can contemplate. Within that scene is summarized the entire history of humankind. The hands represent creative will, because every human achievement begins when an idea is transformed into action. They represent effort, because nothing great in life is built without work, dedication and perseverance. They represent protection, because the same hands that plant are also the hands that nurture and defend what they love. They represent responsibility, because everything that God places into our hands becomes our duty to preserve and help grow. They represent the hands of God, the hands of the ancestors, and the hands of man and woman united in the sacred task of sustaining life. The earth represents the world, because within it our dreams, families and civilizations take root. It represents the sacred womb of nature, because from it comes everything that lives, grows and transforms. It represents the common origin of humanity, because we all come from the same dust and will one day return to the same place. It represents the patience of the universe, because the earth silently receives the seed and grants it the time necessary to become a tree. The small tree represents family, because every family begins as a seed of love and commitment. It represents religion, because every true religion arises from the desire to understand God and live in harmony with creation. It represents freedom, because growth is the sacred right to fully develop the nature that God has given us. It represents legacy, because what we plant today will one day provide shade, fruit and protection for our children and grandchildren. It represents knowledge, because every great wisdom began as a small idea. It represents faith, because even the humblest seed contains the potential to become greatness. It represents hope, because life always finds a way to be reborn. It represents human consciousness, because what appears small today may one day transform the world. The couple walking hand in hand represents unity, because no destiny reaches its full potential when traveled in isolation. It represents love, because to love means to accompany, support and remain present along the journey. It represents family, because every civilization was born from the decision of two beings to walk together. It represents brotherhood and sisterhood, because beyond our differences, we are all fellow travelers sharing the same existence. It represents mutual respect, because only when we learn to value one another can we advance toward the light. Walking hand in hand means sharing responsibilities. It means supporting one another during difficult times. It means protecting the weak. It means moving forward together when the road becomes uncertain. It means understanding that true progress does not consist of arriving first, but of arriving together. The light on the horizon represents the future, because it is toward it that we direct our hopes. It represents truth, because every falsehood eventually dissolves before its clarity. It represents evolution, because human consciousness is destined to continue growing. It represents God, because He is the supreme source that silently guides the destiny of all beings. The path they walk symbolizes the complete history of humanity. A journey filled with trials, discoveries, mistakes, lessons and transformations. A journey that began long before books, temples and borders. According to the spiritual understanding I have received, humanity was prepared since ancient times to establish covenants and agreements with nature. Malongo, deeply connected to nature itself, represents the ancestral bond between humanity, the earth, the ancestors and God. Our earliest ancestors observed the sky, fire, water, plants, animals and the cycles of life, and came to understand that all creation spoke a sacred language. All the peoples of the world, all races and all cultures are different branches of the same universal tree. Their roots rest in the same earth. Their life force comes from the same Creator. And their fruits are destined to nourish one human family. Humanity was not born to divide itself. It was not born to hate. It was not born to destroy itself. It was born to understand that despite our differences, we are all brothers and sisters walking toward the same light. True greatness does not consist of moving forward alone. True greatness consists of extending a hand, protecting the seed of life and walking together toward the future. That is the root of family. That is the essence of religion. That is the foundation of freedom. That is the mission of legacy. That is the teaching of the ancestors. That is the voice of nature. And that is, without question, one of the greatest mysteries of life. Sincerely, Professor Jose Alberto Espinosa Barrero. Tada and Kizi Ngoluyente Congo. Onichanga Oba Oloyu.